Welcome to a new monthly feature on property and business here on Lakes TV. In this week's show, we go on site with house builders Cumbrian Homes. We also visit business and property sales specialist RTA. We speak to Auction House about commercial property. And in this month's business focuses, we see handcrafted furniture being made by Peter Hall & Son, and drop into the world-famous Hawkshead Relish Company.
I'm Scott Edwards, I'm the Commercial Manager for Cumbrian Homes here at Temple Sowerby, our Temples Court development. It's a development of 5 bespoke barn conversions. We're a house builder. We pride ourselves on building a quality home, quality new home. We try to capture as much of the market as we can, from first-time buyers right through to people looking to retire to the area or downsize to the area. Yeah, we're trying to keep our properties in keeping with the area and the surrounding area. We're fortunate in the fact that we believe that's the right way to do it anyway. However, the areas we operate in, the planning department do stipulate certain things, slate finishes, stone finishes where necessary. But as I say, we're quite keen on that for our properties anyway, so it fits with our ethos anyway. Yeah, the end of 2011, it's still tough. It has been tough for the last couple of years, as we all know. We do feel we have a slight advantage at Cumbrian Homes. We do offer a bespoke property that's quite unique, so people do still tend to be drawn to the properties that we do sell, so we're fortunate in that way. But yeah, I mean, the things outside of our control, such as mortgage availability, but banking in general, it certainly is causing problems for house builders generally. Countrywide, I think there's certain areas that are less and more affected than others. I think Cumbria does benefit from being one of those areas that isn't as affected. We don't see the very peak, but we don't see the very bottom either. So that there is benefit to that. Within Cumbria, we have niche areas as well. The Lake District, Eden Valley areas. They're very strong. They don't. There's always a demand there for properties in the area, so we don't see the troughs as much. Perhaps, I mean, there's no doubt we've seen a fall in prices throughout the country, Cumbria and Eden Valley included, but we don't think they're as severe here. And certainly now, I mean, as we're moving hopefully out of the worst, the property prices are beginning to sort of stack up again and not be discounted or be reduced too much. So. Otters Holt's based in the heart of the Eden Valley. It's about 7 miles from Penrith, 7 miles from Appleby, and the A66, and 7 miles from the M6. So very close to the Lake District, and not too far from the Yorkshire Dales either. So yeah, good access to most areas. Phase 1 is now complete, only 1 remaining there now, all other 14 sold. Phase 2 is well under construction, about half the units there complete, and we've just started recently Phase 3 and Phase 4, which on Phase 3 we've got some smaller properties going up there. They're starting from under 200,000, 199,950 actually, so we think we've got a good offering for all potential buyers.
I'm Sean Frith from Cumbrian Homes. I'm the site manager here at Culgaith. And it's my job just to keep the site running safely, cost effectively as possible, and give a customer a good product. We're currently just about finishing the stonework for the house that you can see behind me, and we'll be looking at putting the slates on as roof coverings next week before the winter comes in hard, and then we'll move inside and start the joinery second fix and hopefully get it complete early spring.
What kind of challenges do you have with the famous Cumbrian weather?
Well, obviously it's difficult to keep stone dry all the time round, so it has to be well protected during the night, so the tradesmen can use the stone the next day and hopefully lay good quality stone without any mortar spreading down the face of it and looking unsightly for years to come. So yeah, it is challenging, but these lads are used to it. Specifically two good lads work on the stone every day, so they get used to it.
You've got your team, but you also bring in specialists to do specific jobs. How important is that?
Well, you do need your support from your local small businesses. Our stonemasons are self-employed stonemasons at the moment. The roofing contractor is much the same, specialises in slate, rather than just your traditional tiles. And yeah, you do need your support of your domestic subcontractors like your plumbers and your electricians. With the new regulations as far as installation and thermal efficiency, it's changing all the time. Houses are getting warmer and warmer, more insulation, and they're at the same time they're making them more airtight so you don't lose that efficiency of your house. It is challenging, and there's more and more tests done on a house that gives us the odd sleepless night to make sure that we do pass that test. And all in all, the customer gets a far better house now than they used to get perhaps 20 years ago. The ethos is to try to build a house, as we call them, rather than units, for ourselves and our customers, for a house that we'll be proud for anyone to live in, quality-wise, and the things that customers don't see. Make sure they're done right and they will last. Put a high specification in so as they can live with that house for years. As far as finishes go, Cumbrian provide quality fixtures and fittings from doors to tiles to marble, and they give the customer what they would like in an ideal house. And it's all within the price, there's no hidden extras. You know, we do additional works as long as it's within the budget of the house. We're quite happy to put additional bathrooms in, en suites, just as long as it works in with the scheme of the house. And the customer can have their own input. So I think it works out very well for the customer.
Yeah, when you look around our sites or show homes here at Cumbrian Homes, you'll have a professional staff showing you around for one, very friendly. But we have a range of properties on all our sites which hopefully fit people's desires, needs. When you come down here, we'll hopefully see a quality build from start to finish. The finishes that we have in them, we like to think go that extra mile. We take the approach of we'd rather finish them to what people want rather than having them feel as if they'll change things once they've been in the property for perhaps a year or two. And if they come along early enough, we're quite happy to tailor the property to them as well, whether it be paint colours or changing kitchens or even adding rooms if they come along early enough. You know, we're prepared to sit down with them and do that. So hopefully they do get a home, well, they get their home, not just a home. So.
My name is Kerry Edwards. I'm the Business Development Director for RTA here in sunny Stockport. RTA have been selling businesses for over 40 years. In that time we've dealt with literally thousands of businesses, tens of thousands of clients. We've dealt with everything from a local hairdresser to a haulage company, from 5,000 to 5 million. Now that level of experience, having gained over 40 years, is invaluable for our clients, old and new, because we can give them real advice when they need it most, when they're looking to sell their business and achieve the best price.
There's probably 1.5 million small businesses in the UK, and at any time there's probably something like 50,000 of them for sale. My role is new business. We're involved in talking to business owners who might be considering putting their business on the market. And the first stage of that is talk to an owner and arrange for a consultant to go and talk to them about their business and about what they want to do in selling their business. If we're looking for a business where the owner might be thinking of selling because they're perhaps retiring or they're going to buy something bigger, we'll talk to them, we'll give them a call, or they might get in touch with us. They perhaps know of us because they've used them or a friend has recommended us. Or it might be that they've sent us an email or they've seen some marketing that we've done in the past.
We have expanded where other businesses haven't because of the client care that we give. We have experience over the 40 years of buying and selling businesses, and the quality that we give to our clients in selling their businesses ensures that we get further business in the future. Within the last 10 years, I've found that the company has expanded immensely due to the internet.
As well as the traditional sort of press advertising that you would expect from any other agent, at RTA we take a far more professional approach, a far more proactive approach, using our online presence, a newly created e-marketing department, as well as the traditional press activities. I believe we provide the highest level of proactive marketing in our industry. In addition to the ubiquitous Dalton's Weekly, which most people will be familiar with, then there's lots of other trade publications. This is your traditional press advertising. But of course, in addition to that, the web presence these days is vitally important. RTAs invest heavily in their web presence. We rank very well on page 1 of Google for most of the key search terms. It's a very interactive experience with our website. You can download details directly off the website should you choose to register. And of course, one of the things that's becoming increasingly important in marketing is video. And we are uniquely positioned to provide a short 2 to 3 minute video, very well produced and shot in high definition. So for the right businesses, a video can be a very valuable sales tool.
Business is always going to sell. At the right price, a business will sell. An agent will be able to get you finance, will be able to help you get the purchaser to finance the purchase of your business. And that's one of the reasons of using an agent who's experienced on disposals of businesses. And there's always a time when they've got to be sold. And it could be that it's a really good time to buy a business at the moment. People have been perhaps made redundant and they've got a handshake, and they can use that money to buy themselves a job for the future.
I worked in this area of town. I had a post office which was closed down due to the reinvention programme, and so I knew Borrells very well, and I saw that it had come on the market, and I'd kind of semi-retired when my grandchildren were born, but decided that I needed something to get me up and out in the morning, so I bought it. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. They know what they're talking about. I was able to take advice from them, and they always return phone calls. You know, just the service is really, really good. And I'm a real service person, so I demand good service, and they gave me that.
There are, 60 million people in the UK, and we don't genuinely know who's going to buy the business at any particular time. And it's that level of honesty when we go to a client and say, look, we will take your business to the marketplace and we will find the best possible price for you. Ultimately, it'll be up to you to make the decision to sell it, but we will do the marketing. What has actually changed in the 13 years I've been with the company is the way that we do that marketing. It's gone from, well, a couple of pages in Dalton's Weekly. We now, I think, take probably 40% of Dalton's Weekly, but even Dalton's Weekly's changed. It's now become the Dalton's website, and there are lots and lots of web portals that purport to sell businesses. Actually, they do the marketing. Selling a business is still down to an individual relationship and ascertaining your client's requirements and meeting those requirements. Quite frankly, adverts don't sell businesses. People sell businesses. Skills sell businesses. I joined the company, there were 30 staff, probably 3,000 businesses on the market. In the UK, we've now got over 10,000 businesses on the market, around 150 staff and offices throughout Europe, South Africa, and we're now talking to America, India, and who knows.
Lakes TV is the TV channel for the people of Cumbria and those who love the lakes. Bringing you the best that the Lake District has to offer, Lakes TV broadcasts on Sky Channel 201, 203 and Freesat Channel 403. For full listings and to watch on demand, visit lakestv.net.
Producing exceptional cask beers, the Ulverston Brewing Company is open throughout the year for visits to the brewery or their gift shop filled with bottled beers and local produce. Handily placed for public transport, the brewery sits in Ulverston Town Centre in the heart of the South Lakes. Call for opening times or see our website for details.
Okay, my name is Colin West. I'm the auctioneer for Auction House Cumbria. Today we're at the racecourse in Carlisle where we're having a property auction with 44 lots available.
So we're about 20 minutes before the auction. How are you feeling?
Yeah, it's some positive signs. The room's filling up quite nicely. People have been coming early to inspect the legal packs, etc, etc, etc. And they're now taking their seats in anticipation of grabbing a bargain. I think auctions at one time were viewed as the last option. However, days have changed, and because, especially with the commercial properties, because of the uncertainties associated with the normal private treaty open market sales method, the certainty of sale that comes with an auction has benefits to both the vendor and the buyer. Whereas when the hammer falls, that's an exchange of contracts, 10% deposits paid and balance within 20 days. The open market private treaty method, it's put on the market, offers are invited, but they don't know whether it's going to take a month, 2 months, a year, 2 years, 10 years to sell. And if they've got time constraints, then they need to plan. And that's why the auction date is a line in the sand, and that is a big benefit to a vendor.
So 44 lots today. How many of them do you realistically anticipate selling today?
I would hope to achieve in excess of 80%.
Is that the usual kind of market?
We're running year to date at 80%, slightly in excess of 80%, so it would be a good result, including the lots sold prior, and we get some activity afterwards in a couple of days following the auction. Commercial property is stiff, I think, is a fair description of the commercial market. There's quite a number of empty premises in a lot of the towns in Cumbria, and more are arriving in the auction room. The ones that sell better are the ones with a tenant, with passing rent, because the investor's very interested in that, as he already has the income in place. We started Auction House Cumbria. We still have 4 estate agents' offices, and we were getting instructions on the likes of repossessions, and if we didn't sell them within 6 weeks, they were taken off us and taken to a London or regional auction, and really they weren't achieving the same, healthy prices. So we started our own auction company. We decided to make it a Cumbrian auction house and invite lots in from around the county and from other estate agents and commercial agents, and now we're receiving them from LPA receivers, local authorities, capital asset management companies, etc, etc. I don't have any particular style. My priorities are to get the best price for the client. As you can tell, I don't talk Cumbrian, so I have to talk slowly so that everybody understands me, and hopefully they will today.
I'm Jeremy Hall, the owner of Peter Hall & Son, a furniture making company that was started by my father Peter Hall in 1972. He worked in a very small way then on his own, but we now employ 18 people doing a variety of skills here. This includes bespoke cabinet making, antique furniture restoration, upholstery, interior design, and wood-turned gifts that we make on the premises for sale in our showroom. My father started Peter Hall really to try and create beautifully made, beautifully designed piece of furniture. Although then it was very traditional, we now are more contemporary in our designs, but still following the arts and crafts ethos really, and integrity, where we make furniture using a lot of traditional handmade techniques. We don't let machines dictate the design in any way at all. This is to give an exact fit where you can't get that quite so fine finish by machine, we believe. And there's this wonderful integrity of doing it by hand that we really uphold and believe in. The skill that the staff have developed is quite enormous, and the attention to detail, the finish, is why people come back for more. I joined my father's business in 1979, having done a 7-year training, originally in cabinet making, but then developing it into furniture restoration and conservation. The designs are a bit of a collaborative thing. It's mainly me, but my son, who's done a product design degree in Edinburgh, and he's going to join me in the summer to develop these designs further. And a more contemporary feel, but still upholding our heritage in this business. The designs we do, the iconic designs that I've designed is the Oxford table, which is a glass top table, but it doesn't have a leg at each corner. It has a crossed members, which leaves a very spacious feel. It's very contemporary. It sits wonderfully on rugs where you could see through, and it doesn't mark because of the glass. It's very practical. Other designs is the Natlan chair, the Ragley chair, and the Pembroke table. And the Ragley chair is this is a model of what we were doing, and this was a chair that was designed to be very, very clean looking, but very, very comfortable. So it's got an ergonomic back here, but it's also curved in plan, which makes it very difficult to fit. All these joints here are cut by hand to fit, because there's nothing straight. They have to follow the rail round, really. It's a very clean looking chair, uncluttered but extremely comfortable. As with the Pembroke table, the names of them really are from where the clients are who've commissioned the pieces, so we just take a nearest town or an area where they come from. The woods we use are mainly in two categories really: homegrown timbers like oak, elm, ash, maple, sycamore, cherry, some cherries and some walnuts that we season up in our sheds in the yard. We also convert them from logs to maintain quality throughout the piece. We also import some timbers, buy them from timber merchants, but they're from reforested sources. We are very selective on how we choose our timbers, and that's just the start when you make a piece of furniture. People can come here and either buy a piece of wallpaper, tin of paint, or to have a whole house done using our designs, our furniture, our restoration skills, upholstery skills, as well as curtain making. So it's a whole package that we can offer. The business is situated in Staveley, a village between Kendal and Windermere, and we're just off the A591. If you follow the brown tourist signs, which are marked Furniture Workshop, visitors are very welcome in the workshop. They can come and browse in this beautiful showroom and watch people working through a gallery.
We started off here in this building in about 1999. Where I'm stood now was a cafe until 2001 really, when the foot and mouth epidemic hit. And at that point we suddenly found that we had no customers in the cafe and we needed to look at something in order to survive. So we started making a few chutneys and relishes and jams to serve in the cafe and also to sell outside. And it started off with about 3 or 4 different products, and we got that up to about 12 in the first few weeks. And today now we have about 138 different lines and more that we'd like to make. We're just running out of space to do it. So it's definitely become all consuming really. About 3 years ago we moved to a beautiful 16th century barn just a mile from Hawkshead. And it's a lovely idyllic setting right on the edge of Esthwaite Lake. And in there now we have all our offices, our kitchen production and warehousing, so we can do everything all under one roof. But it's still made by hand, it's still made using the same traditional methods, just bigger pans than we had before. We use a lot of things like blackberries and blackcurrants and all sorts of things that are available locally. And a lot of the products that we make feature damsons which grow really well here in South Lakes. So it makes sense to use those things that are readily available on the doorstep. But we also make things like mango chutney, which obviously, you know, mangoes don't grow too well here, but we'll source them and buy them locally, so it just helps to keep the economy thriving locally, and that's very important to us. Hawkshead is a lovely little thriving community, and it is a lovely place in which to live and work. Well, Mark and I set it up together, and he heads up all the production and all the ordering and comes up with all the ideas. If somebody else comes up with an idea, then he puts it into practice and creates the recipe. I deal with all the sales, marketing and finance, and it works because I stay out the kitchen and he stays out the office. But in amongst that, we've got a couple that work for us in the kitchens and they work together. We've got another couple that work in the shop, again married couple that work together, and it's people partly that we've known most of our lives, and we all work really well together because we all have the similar feeling for what we're doing, and we all are very enthusiastic about creating something really special.